Last week on Odd and Strange Encounters, the party descended into a chapel of an obscure god of learning and research dedicated to the war of knowledge versus ignorance. The chapel had a disorienting aura and a spellbook on an altar that Jiles immediately attained. Proceeding onward, they found a strange brown-red moth which took a shine to Skaar's sound. Finding a massive nursery filled with the creatures, Jiles tried to shoo one of the moths away but accidentally smacked it, launching them into a frenzy. They descended on the party and began to devour all metal they touched. They ate through Abernathy's barrel, spilling its contents, and used a sack of culture to distract the moths and Sigrax threw a torch to lure them away. However, a flask of oil broke in Abernathy's pile of equipment and it went up in a ball of fire quickly spreading to the nearby bookcases. In the distance, red-robed librarians began rushing towards the fire. The party fled to the level below, which was a large chamber with hulking steampunk machines in the rear. In the front of the room, there was a podium with chained books on top. The book in the center wasn't chained, and attacked Abernathy. He was able to slay it, but they were soon accosted by the librarians in red and white robes. The librarians demanded the party leave after the damage they had caused, but they argued and were allowed to stay if they could pay for repairs. After the party paid 100 gold, they were once again left on their own. What happens next? Find out now on Wandering Monster. Roll Initiative!
So you find yourselves descending another dark staircase, that same vertigo that flips your stomachs as you're going between the levels and floors in this in-between liminal space in the Stygian library. Having had that encounter with the librarians and being able to barter with them, in essence, or bribe, to get back in the good graces, you feel that the library isn't as hostile as it potentially could have been. But still, you can't shake that feeling of being watched as you descend through this darkened staircase. Looking ahead of you, down the end of this flight of stairs, you see a door illuminated around the cracks, the wood itself looking to be perhaps a reddish mahogany with a brass doorknob. Who amongst you is going to grab and enter, or any other actions you want to do in this in-between space?
I'm assuming there's not a lot to loot in the in-between space.
That is an interesting question, because maybe there may not be so much as tangible things, but you definitely feel the exchange of lots of information. Like sibilant whispers kind of on the edge of your hearing, like in the Alice in Wonderland and other types of time traveling things, how you see like mathematical equation or those types of factoids floating. It's kind of like that, but it's always in your peripheral vision, but you always feel the presence of something. So if you can grasp onto a concept, metaphorically speaking, it's there for the plucking.
Oh, no, I'm anti-concepts and most knowledge, so I'm not grasping anything.
I'll open the door.
All right. When you open the door, you're hit with a couple of different scents all at the same time. Something that smells like a wet dog that was then dried, maybe haphazardly. The smell of various chemicals, slightly funerary or embalming, hint of mothball, rich mahogany wood, tobacco, and more moldery books. Looking into the space beyond, you see that the wall itself is made of a padded, tufted, and kind of riveted fabric that kind of is along the walls. It is of a crushed red, deep velvet. There are bookshelves that line the walls, but above it, along this entire very large, elongated chamber, are a series of stuffed trophies and mounts. This the heads of lots of various interesting and strange beasts. Between these, you see that there are odd glass tubes that run from ceiling to floor, sometimes snaking around one of another, sometimes kind of interlacing. Most of them are kind of pulsing and throbbing with some type of moving substance of some kind, hard to tell from a distance. Towards the end of this chamber, where there is another doorway leading further into this level of the Stygian library, you see a large, rich mahogany desk with a table next to it and large, oversized chair.
So you said there's something oozing. Was that near the stuffed animal heads, or?
These glass tubes are interspaced and laced throughout the space. Just imagine, like, there are like thin tubes of various like sizes, usually no longer than a thumb or two thumbs across, that almost at random are connecting at various places between the floor and the ceiling. You can kind of go up to some of these and figure out what's in them if you want.
Okay. I would like to go check it out, see if, I don't know, my mind is instantly, because I just saw Ghostbusters, the newest one, over the weekend. I imagine Ghostbusters 2, the slime.
Roll me a d6.
All right. Let's see if I can teach it to dance inside of a toaster.
Are you going to suck on that tube?
I mean, I got a 2. 2 for
Okay.
the tube.
2 for the tube. So the tube that you find is very hot as you approach it, and
Yeah,
you
it
see
is.
there is moisture condensing
Got a
on the
hot tube.
inside. At times, it seems like there is something rushing from up to down and then down to up. You think maybe it's steam or some other type of hot gas?
I found a lava lamp.
Steam or other hot gas?
Mm. So it's warm, I take it.
Oh, it's very hot.
Is it moist?
It's moist inside. You can see condensate on the inside of the glass chamber.
Is there any squelching?
You gonna put your ear to it?
Yeah. No, not on it because it's hot.
I was about to say you would start hearing the sound of sizzling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one tube does not make a squelching sound, maybe as much as like a heavy breathing sigh, as if maybe bellows somewhere in the distance. The other tubes seem to have different substances.
All right, so go for a different substance tube. Is this one a lava lamp?
Why don't you roll a d6?
Come on, lava lamp.
Or I will allow you to roll a d8.
But I already rolled a 6.
Okay. You roll the 6 on a d6?
Yes.
Okay. This one has some type of slightly yellowed or tinted fluid that is, well, you think it's flowing. You see occasionally little bits of tight bubbles that flicker through it.
I wouldn't drink that one.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Jiles, what are you doing as your compatriots are tube exploring?
You said there was like shelving with like old books and stuff.
Like most areas of the Stygian library, there are bookshelves.
Okay.
These don't have any type of cages or cabinetry covers to them. They are just open bookshelves with different types of tomes, most of them leather bound.
I think I'm just gonna walk and kind of peruse the shelves, see if there's any books that jump out at me.
All
While
right.
still kind of holding on to that spell book I got earlier, and it's like I should probably see what's in here.
Okay. Is there anything particular you're paying attention to, or are you focusing on like book titles?
Nothing in particular, just kind of seeing if anything jumps out book title wise.
Okay. Roll me a d6.
1d6. That is a 3.
You notice that the lighting in this room are some like globes, maybe some type of like hooded lanterns. you notice that some of the lanterns themselves seem to be moving when no one is kind of looking at them.
Are they moving towards us or away from us or just in
Mm.
an indetermined pattern?
Swaying just a little bit.
Okay. Does this room seem like it'd be safe enough to take an extended breather? Or
That's a good question. What would make you feel secure and safe?
not dying?
I hear that. So, in a lot of traditional, like OSE and other style games, again, for the casual listener, we are condensing and foregoing some of the rules just for sake of the format of our broadcast. But you may take time to barricade yourself or set up traps or other things to know that you're actually in a safe area other than just kind of raw dog falling asleep on the floor and trusting no one's going to poke at you.
Yeah, because I know that we have that package that we have to put fresh blood on. I'm assuming sometime soon. I have this spell book. I'd kind of like to look over and see what's going on. I'd like to get my 1 spell slot back, but that's neither here nor there. And then who knows how long we've been in here? We probably could use a sit down, take a nap, eat a ration or something.
Are the rest of you wanting to kind of prepare and hunker down for a bit?
Sure.
If all the cool
What are
kids
you-
are doing it.
What are you doing to protect yourselves or make the space as secure as possible?
You said there was some like chairs in here.
There's one large, oversized chair. Other than that, there's an entrance that you came from, and then a door on the far side of this chamber.
You said there was a desk and a table?
Yes.
Could build a fort. I assume someone brought a sack. We can
yeah, what do
drape
I
that
have?
over the chair and the desk and crawl underneath and watch movies.
What are movies?
Don't worry about that.
What
Talk-
are lava lamps?
Okay, worry about that. Because in a fictional universe, a lava lamp might be a very real thing that might be way more destructive than a conventional real world lava lamp.
That's a valid point.
Yeah, you do not
Now-
want one of those lava lamps in your living room. Trust me.
Technically, until they're open, they're magma lamps.
Mm.
Yes.
All right. So, any other actions you're doing before you're taking your rest?
What do you guys think about moving the big chair in front of one door and maybe one of these desks in front of the other one, just to give us a semblance of safety?
There's a large table as well, correct? Table, desk, and chair.
Yes.
All right, yeah,
That's
let's put
correct.
some barricades.
Mhm.
Okay.
So again, you notice or get the feeling of being watched, and you see the little glow lights in this room kind of bobble as you're moving the furniture around. So you are moving the table to the door that you came down from the flight of stairs, or to the door that it's closer to that leads deeper into this place.
I personally say don't disturb it as much as possible. Like if the chair's next to one door, we put it there. If the table's next to the other door, we can put it there. That way when we leave, we can put everything back where it was and make it like we weren't even there.
Not a bad idea. Real quick, did we check just for like a general lock on the door? See if maybe there's just like a little chain knob thing that you just slide over.
No.
No one has explicitly said anything.
I checked to see if we can just lock the door and say job done.
I still want a barricade though.
That's
I'm
fine.
committed to this barricade idea.
I'm not gonna harsh your or yuck your yum.
There doesn't seem to be any type of latch on the inside of either door.
All right. Then bull tail it is, guys. That's not the right voice. I did this earlier.
Yeah, you're going to a little meat wad.
Yeah. Yeah, boy, that's meatwad right there.
Oh no.
Yeah, this gonna be it. Charles and John ain't here,
So-
boys.
That's what
Oh,
happens when
yeah.
someone punch Abernathy in the throat. That's what he sounds like.
Yeah.
Now, again, in traditional OSE and other games, the iron spikes that some of you may have in your inventory from your starting pre-gen are used to wedge doors closed.
I do not have those.
I had those, but now they're eaten by moths.
Wonder how that happened. Weird. Anyways, moving on.
Yes.
I have iron spikes, but
That's
okay,
that's
it.
exactly what I'm referring to.
Okay, I thought those were more for climbing, but yeah. Let's spike some doors.
Absolutely. Sorry for the extra handhold effing figure that helps keep you alive. So you
What's coming through these doors, man?
Hopefully
No,
nothing.
I'm just saying, like this old school style of play. So you're able to use spikes to either keep doors open or to keep them closed. Because traditionally, as you're going through doors in OSE, you are rolling to open them because they have been kind of made to be stuck fast. Basically, part of the dungeon ecology system and the procedural order of play that we are kind of hand waving a bit for sake of levity. So you have secured this room as much as possible. You do see like the gaze of all of these strange heads staring down on you and then hearing the weird random gurgles of tubes. If you would like to go ahead and make yourself a rest, then please go ahead and do so. So if you are resting, if you were taking a whole day to rest, then you get these 3 hit points back and you consume one of your rations. If you don't have rations on you, then you may just want to do a shorter rest to hopefully get through this faster and then back to the outside world.
Last time we played, when my barrel metal bits were eaten by the rust moths, I grabbed my water skin, but my weapons and stuff were already on me. I assume I also lost my rations?
If you didn't explicitly pick them back up, then I'm assuming they were left behind.
Well, my character goes up to John's character, and it's just like, "Hey, would you mind sparing possibly some of your rations there? I mean, if you're okay with it, just don't say anything. Just be quiet now and don't respond." Cool, thank you.
Well, he does have 7 days worth of rations, so that is a great question if he would be willing to share it. I will assume he would probably be willing to try to make friends with the humanoids and sacrifice a ration for people who don't have it. And if maybe he doesn't get, if you don't get out of here soon, maybe he'll just eat you in your sleep. It seems like a fair trade.
Giles is actually going to stand back behind Abernathy with like a ration, kind of feeling guilty that all of his metal stuff got eaten up, and then seeing him go to John's character and ask us, he's like,
I don't need your pity. Don't. I see me and the big guy here. I got my ration from him. I don't need this from you. Reaches up, takes the ration from you. I don't need this. I just survive on my own. I don't need it. Takes the bite of the other ration.
"Oh, well, okay." If you, never mind.
Are all of you going to sleep at the same time, or is anyone taking watch?
I'll take watch. My hit points are pretty high.
Okay. Then go ahead and roll me a d20, if you will, while the other 2 take rest.
It's a bloody one. Hold on. It's a 10.
Oh, I was hoping it was a literally bloody one. 'Cause I'm like, boy, that would be perfect. Okay, so 2 of you go to sleep under the gurgling tubes and the strange gaze of these weird creatures. As you are sitting there, Scrax, What do you do to while away the time?
I'll probably shed some of my skin.
Do you eat it as well, or do you craft it into something?
I like to just make little balls and then try to get those balls into the mouths of my sleeping comrades.
That's great. I love it. So they're both asleep. Like one of those little tumbleweeds of your skin like rolls into Abernathy's sleeping mouth. He hawks on it. You hear some slathering, chewing sounds, and more snoring. But you notice that there's a weird sound coming from beneath the floorboards. Roll me D3.
Man. Oh, crap. 2.
Okay. Nothing bad seems to happen. You just kind of hear an odd ticking sound, almost something between like a clock and a metronome. Just ticking away while you're sitting there.
I'm going to wake up one of my comrades.
Which one are you going to wake up?
The little one gets mad at me. So I'll wake up Jiles.
All right. What do you tell Jiles?
Does that sound like a bomb to you?
I'm Jiles the Bland. What bomb? What?
Jiles, you hear nothing but the gurgling of tubes.
I don't hear any sort of bomb noises.
Do I still hear it?
No.
Oh, damn it. Okay, can I ask you one more question before you go back to sleep?
Yes.
Do you know of any bombs that pause when somebody wakes up?
Solid question.
You're asleep.
Yeah, I talk in my sleep.
That's not talking. That's answering.
I just like the idea of him snoring like valid question.
Solid question. Well, that's very true. That's Meatwad again. I can't do it anymore.
Higher pitched.
I'm muting myself again. Oh.
To answer your question, no, I don't know of any bombs that pause the ticking to drive you insane. Maybe I should take Overwatch. Maybe you need some rest. You need some rest.
Yeah, and wake up the other guy if there's any bomb-like noises.
Well, he's gonna say that's a valid question anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah,
not valid. Not good.
All right, I'm gonna go to sleep.
We're going to also assume that our 2 silent NPC characters for the evening are also sleeping. We'll make sure to include them as fodder.
Yes.
Fodder.
So Jiles, what dream were you being woken up from?
Well, I was in the apprentice class, going over the one spell, hoping to have more, and just constantly repeating said spell and just having it drilled into my brain.
Sounds pleasant.
It's great.
So since it's your turn for watch, do you actually take watch or do you go back to sleep after Scrax?
I'm actually going to take watch, and while I have this opportunity, I'd like to open up the spell book that we found in the other room and kind of see what is going on in there.
Absolutely. First off, roll me 2d20.
2d20. A 1 and a 6.
Okay. Interesting. Your spell book that you're looking through is Well, it's very obtuse and difficult to decipher. When you find other spell books, they are written in a way that is unique to the other person's brain. So to fully gather the spells that are in this, you have to get a read magic scroll. Of course, you are in a library full of books and scrolls, so perhaps that is something you will find, and then you can pluck the different spells out of this book. But you do see that it is full of very interesting diagrams of various kinds, and you see that there are very methodical illustrations of magical components and spell ingredients. And there is a very terrible loud knocking sound coming from the door that you have barricaded with the desk. Something is furiously trying to beat and claw its way in, screaming to be let in.
Okay, so I need a read magic spell. Oh, crap. There is a huge banging knocking, and I will scream that there's a huge banging knocking to wake my compatriots.
So everyone wakes up and hears the sound of someone or something screaming to be let in.
Bro, that's not even the sound I was talking about.
Well, it's a sound that's going on right now.
It's not. I don't need to order any room service. I was wanting to get the Dutch baby with the blueberries.
Dutch baby.
I didn't. Hi.
Hi.
Should we get that? Should we open the door? Should we just see who?
Two of you roll me D20.
I'll roll a d20. I have the dice.
I'll roll one. I got 11.
I rolled a 3.
Okay. So what are you wanting to do as a group?
Well, I don't think opening the door would be a good idea.
It does sound like somebody who needs help.
Yeah, but what if they have a Dutch baby?
I fail to see the downside.
Yeah. Like, are we babysitting a Dutch baby or what?
No. So what you do is you take a quart of milk. You take about half a dozen eggs. Then about a quart of flour. You whisk that together vigorously in a large metal pan. You heat that up. You put about 8 tablespoons of butter in that.
The screaming intensifies, and then it sounds like someone is throwing themselves against the door.
Anyways, you heat up an oven, and once you pour the batter in,
get that.
Do you seriously think they're gonna give us a Dutch baby though?
Oh no, not at all.
No.
There's only one way to find out, though.
All right. Send in the dwarf.
The dwarf looks at you and says, "Nah, fuck that." Well, hold up.
I mean, understandable.
I should actually contemplate what is Leopold's alignment. It's neutral. So Leopold is doubtful. He's well, we've barricaded ourselves in here. I'm not sure we should open the door.
So should we go through the other door and get out of this room?
Run?
I mean, I'm not big and strong like you all. I'm a powerful apprentice, but I mean...
And I just said, that sounds like a person who's trying to get away from something we probably don't want to encounter.
You are then start hearing the screaming intensify. It sounds like there is a group of people outside the door screaming in agony, and you hear the sounds of things being ripped apart.
We definitely do not open that door at this point.
Dutch baby or not, I'm not opening that door.
Regardless whether it has mixed berries or powdered sugar or syrup.
Is being slammed upon, and like your table is kind of moving a little bit with the force of it. The screaming begins to die down a bit, as if there are a chorus of voices, and maybe there's one or two pleading plaintiff screaming, and the sound of chomping and ripping and tearing coming from the other side.
Sounds like the problem is solved itself. Let's move along.
Oh no, they're still screaming, but it's fading quick.
It's solving itself.
And you're right. As you continue to keep waiting, you hear some plaintive last screams for help, and it stops. And you hear the sounds of things being dragged away from the door.
You know, if we wait long enough, we might be able to crack the door a bit, dip the box in that, and we are good for today.
That is smart.
Checking alignment. Okay.
So we rest for another hour.
We have some sausages around the campfire.
We build a small fire.
You notice in the midst of all of that, some of those glow globes that were illuminating the room have just vanished.
Oh, so it's dark in here now.
Oh, this gives me an idea. Hold your breath as long as you can. I start watching all of the globes or the light up things.
Some are just stationary lights that are built into the walls. You swear there were more lights before you went to sleep, but they seem to be gone.
Yeah. Is everyone holding their breath as long as they can to the point where they almost asphyxiate? It's important. It's important that you almost asphyxiate. You just have to turn blue.
So as you say that, Scarson looks very confused at the word of holding breath and just kind of shrugs, and there's some weird movement underneath his cloak.
Essentially, what I want to do is see if we can figure out whose light is whose, and then we'll have a little portable life monitor.
Oh, you're trying to see who... Okay, I'm not holding my breath any longer. I'm not going to sit here while he tries to see which one of us causes a light to go out.
It's going to brighten back up. It'll be fine.
Seeing that she's stopped holding her breath, I'm going to start breathing again as well. It's like, yeah, that was a good idea at all. So what do we do?
I think we should leave.
Okay.
We should dip the thing in the blood, and then we should page left.
Okay. Who's got the package?
Who's opening the door?
Who's staying in the middle of the room?
I will open the door, but I'm going to stay on the side of the door. Like, so the door opens that way. I'm going to be here. So when it opens, I'm on that side.
Are you going to ask for either Scarson or for Girthwood to dip the package?
Yeah, dip your package, guys. Do it.
Come on, Scarson, just take this package, just whip it out. Let's just get it a little moist.
We all already did it. You got to do it now.
We did it when you were asleep. Come on,
All
all
the cool kids, yeah.
So you're having Scarson dip the package, whatever's left on the other side of the door?
Yes.
All right. So Abernathy, you open the door, and Scarson kind of leans out with the package to daub around, and comes back confused, and he goes, "There's nothing out here, like blood-wise. But you're all full of blood and stuff, right?"
I mean,
yeah,
I assume so.
like all of us are.
There's just there's a bunch of papers. There's like shredded up papers and a couple of mangled books.
I don't know. That feels like a lesson wanting to be learned, and we all know I'm not down. But if I were down, I would think that maybe the the papers are its blood, so maybe in a metaphorical sense, we still need to dip that package.
Scarson like holds up a book with its spine broken in half, just hanging limply.
Book blood.
I don't know if that's gonna work.
It's worth a try.
Try it, but I don't think we're gonna want to weigh ourselves against it. I'm just saying
Well, then what are we going to do? Draw straws to see which one of us has to like milk out
it
blood?
doesn't have to be a lot of blood. Look, see, it just pulls out dagger. Let me see your hand real quick.
No.
We don't even know if lizard blood counts.
Lizard blood's just as good as like dwarf blood or human blood or like anything like spider blood. I don't know.
Well, that's racist against lizard people because we are nothing like spider people.
Scarson looks a little bit uncomfortable at the discussion that
What?
you're having.
Why are you looking weird there, guy? We all know you're a regular human. You say it all the time. Might be vampire. Let's not worry about that right now.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just gonna
right.
continue like muttering under my breath that ever since witches used to put us all on their ingredient list, we all got painted with the same brush.
So as you're looking down this corridor into the next space, it almost looks like another repetition of the room that you're in, just without the large desk and oversized chair. It's more room upon room of low bookshelves, weird creature heads, and glass tubules kind of snaking throughout the room. Now, are you wanting to adventure further into this space or descend another level down? Here's an interesting question. Dimension and direction is an important thing to remember as you're navigating the space, because if you're not careful, you can get lost and you can go to different levels. How many levels have you descended so far? And do you think you remember which way to get back up to the surface?
3?
2.
2?
I think it's 3.
I want to say it's 3.
Because I feel like there was the Freddy Krueger room.
Right, yeah.
And we descended from that one, right?
Yeah, the boiler room. Like, okay. So we came in to the weird house thing. Then we went down to the boiler room. Then you're right. So this is 3 or 4. Because we went. Was the boiler room to a hallway or to a stairwell going down?
I thought it was a stairwell going down. Wasn't that the one that was the stairwell?
So the question is, where are you going now?
I've been doodling this whole time and I didn't think to draw a freaking map.
One of us. is keeping a map.
Ian, can I borrow your map?
How much you got?
Oh man, we gave it all to the librarians because we burned
Damn it.
And you still need to bleed on this package. A little bit of blood was daubed before, but your time is kind of an odd question.
All right, I cut my own hand. Like, I got it this time, but you all owe me, and you know that. And this will not be forgotten.
You take 1 point of damage as you yourself.
1 point of damage. I make eye contact with as many people as I can as I do that.
And we all take emotional damage. Just know that.
Yeah, we feel
Emotional
great.
damage.
Which is almost as bad as the actual damage that you took.
If worse, I mean,
Yeah,
because your hand's going to
basically
heal. This
You're
emotional
not-
damage is going to stay with me for a while.
You're gonna
not
remember
bad.
this moment for the rest of your pathetic little life, boy.
You're just disappointed.
Uh-huh.
So you can, at any level basically in the Stygian library, continue to go deeper, or you can continue in the same level. Your rest was interrupted You know what? I will kind of allow this to be kind of an expedite and kind of bend a rule here. Giles, roll me an intelligence check to see if you've rested long enough for you to recover your spell.
All right. That is a 17, so no.
So that's a good question. Do you want your glass cannon to keep resting to get his spell slot back for the day, or you wanted to go down faster to try to get out of here?
I think like the danger's gone, right? We should let our glass cannon rest up. That sounds like a reasonable thing to me.
I'm fine with that until more chaos and disorder happens beyond these doors.
Look, the barricade worked just fine last time. I'm saying we put the desk back. We go to like get an extra little bit of another power nap. Maybe we eat some more rations. Looks over to everyone else that he hasn't like taken a ration from. Gives them the finger guns. Kind of like side smiles. Like let's hit snooze on this adventure for just a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
And let's look at our magnificent wizard here get his spell slot back, whatever a spell slot is. Not that I know.
I've got plenty of them. Don't get me wrong.
This big guy's got 30. We got to have him at peak maximum spell efficiency.
Exactly. I'd say we rest up.
Who's keeping watch? Or do you want to use the NPCs?
I'll go back to keeping watch.
And you want to keep watch over using Skarsson or Girthwood?
No, I'll keep watch.
Okay.
I want to see if it happens again.
The sound?
Guess.
All right. While the others asleep, do you put since you don't really have ears, do you put your tympanic membrane to the floorboard?
Yeah. I'll lay on my side. Listen
Okay.
to the sounds of the ticking library.
All right, great. First thing, roll me a d6, and then roll me a constitution check.
Okay, it's a 4 on the d6.
Okay.
Oh, which one is that? That's a 6.
All right, so that is a success. So you don't fall asleep, and you don't hear any other sound coming from the floorboards. Lastly, roll me a d12.
Okay. 4.
Okay. So the rest of the evening, morning, late afternoon is mostly uneventful. You're pretty sure beyond the corridor you hear some other type of scuffling and commotion, but it quickly stops down and it doesn't get close like the knocking that you had earlier. Other than that, nothing unusual has happened, just beyond the gurgling of the various pipes running through this, or glass tubes running through this space. You're able to get your spell back, Giles. From here, do you want to continue this level or go deeper?
Let's go deeper. Let's just all balls it.
Yeah, the librarian said we had to go down. So
Yeah.
It is true. This place has, like an ogre, lots of layers. So then I need each of you to roll me a d20.
14.
half of Kevin's number.
Okay.
I was told there'd be no math.
So is that a 1?
You were lied to.
What did you get, Scrax?
Crap, I put it back in the box. I'm an idiot. An 8.
Okay. Who is leading the party as you are descending down the next level?
Let's NPC one of our friends up front.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Operation Human Shield.
Right?
Who do you want to throw to the wolves? Do you want it to be Girdwood or Skarsson?
I was going to say Girdwood.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
keep throwing the dwarf under the bus, if you will. But
What if Girthwood then Skarsson?
And then they yell back if it's all cool.
All right. Okay. And I need someone to roll me a d6.
6.
All right. Calculating. So, as you go out into that liminal space, again, that feeling of vertigo and just all of your senses being scattered to the winds. Up ahead, you can see the next level of the library kind of closing in. And there is a, kind of an obsidian door. So you're telling that you want Girdwood to be the first, correct?
Yes.
yeah.
All right. Hang tight. What, between the three of you, what is the weirdest little bit of factoid or weird bit of whispering you hear from the library as you were descending between levels?
Oh, I'm just hearing the like the faintest Backstreet's Back All Right over and over again.
I'm hearing a children's book from like 1994 where like as you read it there are buttons that you push as like you
Ooh.
read the story. But someone spilled a drink on it, so they're just going off randomly. Papa Bear said, and then Brother Bear said,
That is definitely something. But what's more important is, what does the cow say?
Oh man.
Perfect. All right. So Girdwood approaches the door, looks at it, and he listens to the other side of it and kind of puts up a hand for things to be quiet. And after a few seconds of kind of like crooning and listening, he kind of gives like a vague shrug and he opens the door. In the space beyond, I guess you're sending him in first just to see if it's safe and then for him to report back. Is that how you're approaching this?
Yes.
Yeah, he's not here
Yeah.
to tell us otherwise.
Okay. So there he disappears for a few seconds and he comes back. And he goes, all right, so there are what looks to be like monkeys made of black glass, and they're trying to get into a cage. Like there's like a big gate, and beyond the gate there are lots of these weird shells with jars on it.
Statues of monkeys made of glass?
Mhm.
Like actively trying to get into a cage?
Yeah, they look like little like statues, and they're like made of shards of black glass.
And they're moving and everything.
There's 6 of them.
Okay. Do they seem hostile?
I didn't disturb them. They seem very intent on trying to get in.
Are they? Do they look breakable?
I mean, anything is breakable if you try hard enough.
You
Oh,
said black glass. Do you think they're made of obsidian? Do you think if we pushed one over, it would shatter and become razor sharp?
I mean, yeah, they look like they're obsidian.
Hmm.
What do you want to do?
All right. I think we should just try to get past them. If they don't seem to be interested in anything we're doing and very intent on what they are currently doing, maybe we could just sneak on by.
I'm with it.
Just give them a good top of the morning to you and
Yeah,
proceed.
just
Yeah.
the nod and pass.
So are you wanting to go into that space and continue on that level and find like the next staircase?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's make our way to the next staircase.
All right. So you enter into the space, and there's kind of an odd chill in the space, kind of like a cave. The space is made of what looks to be like almost like the inside of like a cathedral, like the very large blocks of stone. There are some that like the bottom half of the wall is very nice stone, but then the pieces above it are all kind of roughly hewn for a artistic effect, and the ceiling itself is vaulted. A sizable portion of this room has been caged off. It's all iron, like black wrought iron, and there's a portcullis, and outside of it are 6 of these obsidian marmosets that are very furiously trying to pick this lock. They are muttering and gibbering to one another, and you keep hearing the sound of snapping as they are trying various lockpicks in this. Beyond it, you see that there are shelves with these weird, large glass jars. There are 30 of them, and some of them are kind of filled with like a smoky vapor, but they're all interlinked with various wires. All the wires kind of braid together and go into a snaking coil that leads somewhere through the wall beyond. There is a door that looks to be, again, kind of that cathedral-esque. It is a dark, very stained wood, as if lots of handprints over time, with black rivets going through it. But what was the spell you memorized from the day out of all the spells that you know, Jiles? Did you pick which one you were memorizing?
Yes. I this time I chose to go with magic missile again.
Good choice. Okay.
It's
I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss it.
No.
Okay.
It's a solid spell. So, you know, do we? I don't think we help these guys. I think we just kind of let them do their thing and just move on, right?
But what if we help them open the lock and then they give us, like, I don't know, an obsidian banana?
Or are we maybe one of the jars? I don't know. There's something that tells me I might want to know what's in that jar.
Does anyone of us know how to pick a lock? Just asking for science.
I do.
Oh. Do you want to avail your services there?
Yeah, I'll go. I'm going to do a little freelance work for these marmosets.
So tell me how you approach them.
I am going to take out the tools of the old trade, the lock picking set, and extend them in front of me in a peaceful gesture as I approach.
Okay. All right. And what do you tell them?
Oh, am I assuming? Okay, I was not sure if I was going to assume that they spoke common tongue.
Oh, I sometimes your first impression makes a difference,
Okay, because I also speak chaotic. A bunch of glass marmosets just feels very chaotic to me, but I think I will use common.
Ooh, Well, the first thing to do is, well, tell me what you're going to do, and then roll me 2d6.
I am going to approach them and say in a calm, soothing lizard voice.
I want to know what a calm, soothing lizard voice sounds like to you, Scrax.
I am here to help you.
I'm gonna look at Abernathy. We're gonna die.
I feel very calm about this.
Oh,
This is
and-
good.
That is 2 6s in a row.
Oh, damn. Okay. And then, so that's a 13 with your charisma overall. So they seem very excited to see you, more because you're kind of brandishing your tools of the trade. And at first, it's the sound of like 2 chandeliers being smashed into one another. That's kind of what all their voices sound like. And eventually, there's a little bit of like head butting and head slapping that also sounds much more like chandeliers being dropped, until there's just one that speaks with a lot of crystal chiming with an edge of like 2 pieces of broken glass being ground into each other. And they're just like, yes, help us get into this. We will give you some of the jars.
Heck yeah. Getting some of that jar currency. Okay. All right. I am going to do my best Skyrim lockpick.
Okay, so Scrax, this is going to be your first lockpicking check of the game,
Yeah.
and it's a first level thief for people who have been tuning at various points. Over time, their characters have picked what their, after our session 0, they have on the fly, after having an adventure or 2 under their belt through the Stygian library, picked what their class is. And so Scrax is level 1 thief. So you have a 15% chance of success. So roll me D100, and if you get 15 or lower, then that is a rousing success.
my
If not,
God.
you're not able to pick this
I
lock
don't even
again.
have a D100.
I wonder who amongst us has a big D100.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah. You like what you see here? You like that?
Yes.
Channeling a full David Bowie.
Yeah. You want me to roll the black one? It's a little bigger. This one's a little heavier. It's the bronze one.
I'm going to go with the heavier. I feel good about the heavier.
Oh yeah. Because it's fat.
God.
What did it need to be under?
If 15 or under.
That's a 6, baby.
Very nice.
Well,
Oh my god.
that is really exciting. I fully expected this to be a most frustrating
did
encounter
good,
for
buddy.
everyone. There is a very satisfactory snap sound. Like this entire time, you have made yourself to be this expert, and you kind of say, "I've got this. I've got the tools." Entire time, you're shaking in your lizard boots, your own skin boots, as you go in, and you're able to just deftly disable this lock. There is this sound of as if there are like, if you could suddenly smash a bunch of like pickle jars together and have it sound like the hooting of excited baboons, that's what you get out of these obsidian marmosets. They are high-fiving one each other, and it's just sounding like a bull is running through a china shop, and the portcullis slowly grinds upward. You see all of these various jars, all 30 of them, sitting on the shelves, and they look at you and say, "You can have your pick of jars. I'd say you have earned yourself a nice, let's say, 6 jars."
Ooh, awesome. Hey guys, let's grab some jars.
Oh. I will grab a jar as well.
I know Abernathy's excited. He misses holding that barrel. So
Well, you know,
So-
it's I grabbed 2 jars.
So before you grab the jars, there are 30 of them. When you look at them, there are 6 that don't look like they have anything in them. 24 of them have a little bit of what looks to be like a condensed mist, but the mist is swirling inside of the jar, flickering with like a little bit with small colors and patterns. Some of them like sometimes slightly pulse with a little bit of glow.
How many of these obsidian marmosets did you say, or marmot?
There are,
The
there are
monkey.
six. There are
Six
six
of
of them.
Okay, and then 6 empty jars.
But what you think? If you look closely at the shelving that they're sitting on, you can see that there are weird like bits of metal and glass, like kind of like how that one room had that strange metal box with a green that was glowing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of that built into the shelves, and some of them have various writing on them.
Well, hey, Mr. Reeds, go read some stuff.
I will go read. I will use my reading skill. What does it say?
Well, there's like little screens below each of the jars with various characters on them. But if you follow the wires, at the end of each shelf, there's a larger screen that has more of that blinking, glowing writing on it. And it seems to be describing the various jars that are on each shelf.
Oh, okay. I will go to this screen and kind of read what the description of these jars are while we're looking.
There's information about pressure in each jar, temperature, emotional state, and acidity. There's like a weird pH, but various numbers, and it kind of describes each of the jars.
These, there might be stuff living in these jars. There's it's saying like the emotional state and all that sort of stuff. You're on mute.
I want to know, like, what's the range of those emotional states? Like, what are we dealing with here?
Well, you see, Scratch, did you read?
No.
Jiles, you see that there are emotional states ranging from torpor to pain to rage to fear to hunger, and there's just one that says compulsive lust, and one of the marmosets takes that jar and runs off with it before you're able to get your hands on it. There's various crystalline hooting that follows.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of point out, pain, suffering, happiness. Well, that was lust. That's gone. We're not gonna see. Oh, well, okay. There's that. I think we should probably, if we are gonna grab any of these jars, maybe try to find some that aren't.
I would say not angry or hungry. Those would be my
Yeah.
preferences.
No hangry.
Yeah.
I grab ennui. 1, funny name. 2, if we get in a fight, I hit whatever we're fighting with it. They get bored. They leave.
I mean, that checks out.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a jar that says ennui?
I'll give it to you.
Well, I'll kind of go through and point out which jars, which emotional state each jar is, and
I also don't really do weepy. I don't want a weepy one.
Are you picking all the jars for everyone's cracks, or are you allowing each of your party members to pick a jar before the marmosets pick the rest?
I'm letting each of them pick their own jars.
I'm going to assume that Scarsson is probably going to pick, how about anguish? And let's see what a Girthwood might want. Maybe Girthwood. Let's give him an envy.
I'm going to take an insane fear one, like just one that's really freaked out. And I'm not going to discuss why.
All right. There is fear or despair. Which is your preference?
I'll take fear.
Okay, fear it is.
I think I want to grab one of the empty ones.
Okay, you take a empty one. All right, that is the. Hold on here. And Scrax gets fear. Oh, that's right. You wanted on we. Okay, just make sure I write this down in case this does not end up on character sheets. All right. So you do get, since you get 6 jars and there are 5 of you, you can pick one more jar if you so choose, Scrax.
All right, then I'll take despair as well.
So no one wants a pain or irritation. You're going to have, just making sure.
Mm-mm.
That's not a leading thing. I was just making sure that.
No, I try to avoid both pain and irritation whenever possible.
Is there a jar that just says whelmed? Like
No.
not over, not under, just
whelmed.
Just like there's one for weather, you have inclement and clement. All right, so you have fear and despair. So after you pick the rest or yours, the marmosets just take gobs of them, and they run off, hooting and hollering with them, chasing after the one that took the lost jar. They go through the door that has the big rivets in it and beyond. The entire time, it just sounds like crystal goblets being smashed on the ground, full of elation.
I wonder what they're going to do with those.
I think it's better not to ask.
Oh, probably fair. All right.
What are they
Should we
going to do
move
with those?
I'll tell you when you're taller.
Oh.
No, you didn't.
Oh, get some aloe for that burn.
I'm gonna get a shrinking potion. I'm gonna force feed it to you in your sleep, and then we're gonna see who's tall.
Do you want to go after the marmosets and see where they're going, or do you want to take the next level down?
Let the kids play. You know, I mean,
I kind of feel like I don't want to watch whatever's going on over there.
I kind of want to watch, but I don't think it's good. We're not going to get anything done for the rest of the game. Let's be honest.
Let's move on.
All right, but if that's the case, I'll need 3d20 out of y'all's.
4.
2.
12.
Man, you guys are rolling low.
It worked out earlier.
Wow.
He's right.
Yeah.
All right, so this is 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. All right. So as you are going down through another level, what's so interesting about this jar that you've picked up as you kind of listen or look at it? What is very strange about its contents?
So, from my fear jar, I hear like very intense music. If I put my ear up close enough to it, I can hear like very intense, like chase music going on in it. From the one marked despair, it's the Backstreet's Back All Right faintly again. I don't know why. I have no frame of reference for that as a lizard person.
No.
Roll me d4, if you will, Scrax.
I don't have a bad feeling about this. 1.
Okay. Anybody else want to grab their jars?
I would, but I would just, people would move on really quickly and not really Pay it much mind.
Then roll me a d10.
8.
Okay, great. Anything from you, Jiles?
Well, since I picked up one of the empty jars, I'm kind of thinking it's like, well, all these other jars had a bunch of emotions like put into them, but I didn't see anything that really jumped out. So maybe I will project something into there later on.
Okay. So as you are descending down the staircase, you see the next level of this library come up to you. The door itself looks like it is a stained hardwood. Exactly difficult to tell what it is, perhaps maybe ash or ironwood, but it has a brass, slightly tarnished handle to it. Who would like to open it?
Oh, sure. I haven't done much.
Okay. Anything you're willing to do over inspecting the door or just throw it open?
No, it's been a while since I've done this. I open the door and yell surprise.
Okay. I'm seeing how that is going to break out for you.
Well, it's going to work out great.
And as you shout, surprise,
Surprise!
are you just saying surprise, surprise, or are you doing anything with it, brandishing a weapon, shouting, flailing arms? What are you doing?
Finger guns? Hold on. Let me think about this. What would Abernathy do?
I think
Surprise! Yeah. Finger guns up, though.
Oh, like a little Yosemite Sam.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Great. Then could you roll me a agility check?
I can. That's a D20 that I'm rolling. Getting a nat 1.
Oh, that's good. All right. For Abernathy, because when you're rolling stat checks, you want to roll your stat or under. So a nat 1 is a critical success in this.
I forgot about that, and I was sitting here for a minute like, wait for it. This is gonna hurt.
Surprise.
Okay.
So you open the door and shout,
Surprise!
and you'll see a couple of different things. The first thing you see is, well, bookshelves on either side of the room, from floor to ceiling, center of the room having these large glass domes full of giant fish skeletons. Each one is like hanging from a hook at the top of the glass dome. And at the kind of like in the forefront of this room is a very large, dripping black sphere that is like a giant glob of thick liquid suspended in air. When you shout surprise, it just splatters its contents in your direction, and you finger gun somersault out of the way as the wall and door behind you is splattered. Actually, who is next in marching order? Should have asked that. Dang.
probably Jiles.
Jiles,
I'll second Jiles.
roll me an agility.
What am I rolling?
Agility. Or sorry, your dexterity. My gosh. That's what happens when you run Morkborg so much all of the time.
It's a 16, so it meets it, beats it.
Meets or beats, yeah. Sorry, no. If it meets, it's successful. It's your stat or under.
Okay, yeah. So I made it.
Okay. So you also just dodge out of the way as liquid splashes towards your feet. It looks thick and viscous. Like you can see it like it makes little strings in the air as it comes in your way, and it has a very thick, pungent smell that you are very familiar with. It's ink. The ink elemental kind of recoalesces itself and looks very peeved, as much as the liquid could look, in the direction of Abernathy. Abernathy, roll me 2d6.
6 and a 2.
So an 8. All right, and you're actually have a bonus to your charisma. So after a few seconds, the prickly nature of the ink, like the outside of it originally kind of looked like a very agitated ferrofluid, and it calms, and as much as a giant sphere of liquid can shrug, it shrugs and just begins to mill through the room, very intensely gazing, at the fish skeletons in the giant cloches.
So I see you got some fish skeletons here. That's nice. How's it going? Startled you, didn't I?
You're not sure if you're talking to its face or its ass.
Oh.
You're not sure if I'm planning what I'm doing or if I'm talking out of my ass.
They both look quite similar,
That's right.
at least just as hairy.
Sometimes hairier.
Derriere
Butt stuff.
smells like dairy air. But that's the extent of those jokes. Feel free to chime in with your own, or you can enter into the room and investigate rows of books, the fish skeletons, etc., etc.
So does it look like it's trying to get into these where these fish skeletons are, or is it just monitoring them?
Or enjoying them.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell without eyes. It seems to be kind of looking at it and then looking at the dome. Maybe it's trying to figure out how to get in. Maybe it's you're not sure what the motivation of something like this might be, but it's kind of hovering around these various containers, sometimes getting up close enough that it sticks itself and then kind of pulls off the sticky threads and then moves to another one.
Do we help them get in there?
I mean, it's been going pretty well for us so far.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an ink elemental. We're in a library. The best stories are written in ink. There go. We help the ink elemental for storytelling.
I've heard worse justification.
Sure. How big are these domes over the fish skeletons?
They're very large. So some of these fish skeletons are taller than you are, Jiles.
Oh.
So these are large and heavy and awkward. You would need to roll a strength check to make sure you lift it without, well, dropping it, shattering it, etc., etc.
How worried are we about shattering these jars? I'll try it. Oh, wow, that's a 7.
All right. So do you open what are you opening? The one that the sphere is closest to, or just the one you're closest to?
I would be as bold as to go up to the one that the sphere is closest to and kind of use my staff to lift the dome off.
So you open this, kind of pry it out, and the thing kind of melts down into a suspended rivulet that goes down, up, under the cloche, and it begins to coil around the fish skeleton. Kind of at once, it's like just drips itself across the bones, and you see that its ink is beginning to settle into all the little crenulation of each little bone, and fish skeletons have tons of tiny little bones. After that, it extrudes itself, and the skeleton, once perfectly ivory white, is now jet black and glistening.
Is that what we wanted to do, Ink Ball?
It hovers by the next one of those containers.
I think we found the source of those obsidian monkeys.
And the obsidian monkeys are now our friends, so we can have fish friends. We can be like Aquaman if we do this right.
I mean, that does check out.
We gonna do this again?
Give him another fish. What do we have to
Yeah.
lose?
Oh, you want me to?
You did fine the first time.
Oh, okay.
He likes you.
Oh, all right. I will go to the next one that he went to, or the Ink Ball went to, and try it out. I rolled a 20.
And you were saying you were using your staff before.
I did say that.
So you just take your staff and you go to lever it. Instead, you go jam, and you just shatter just the entire fish, like the glass. It rains down, and the ink, unfazed, goes and coats that skeleton.
It didn't mess up the skeleton, though? The shattering glass?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere in the distance, you feel like you were being watched, but the ink seems quite content. Do you want to do that with the rest of these containers?
I do, I guess.
Then make me one royal check to see how successful you are with the rest of these containers.
Okay.
While the rest of your party just watches a weak little wizard just open these giant ass domes.
You're doing great there, sport.
I was
Proud of
hoping-
you.
I just shed. I don't want to mess this up yet.
I'm so small. I couldn't even reach.
Well, in one fell swoop, I must have broken the rest of the domes because I got a 14.
Dang.
Yeah.
So you just go for efficacy, and you begin to shatter dome after dome. Why lift these up? You're just wrecking the shit out of this room. Ink is very happy with getting access to these skeletons. Coats the rest of these fish you've never even seen in your entire life, like nothing you have seen. You've heard stories of various great leviathans out in the sand sea and various far-flung places, and you are just helping them being desecrated by this creature.
Desecrated or adorned?
Or enhanced.
Improved, I
Jiles,
would say.
wrecker of the domes. By the end of it, the ink blot itself, or the ink elemental, is diminished in size, but it kind of begins to squeeze, like it's like contracting itself, and it pops out a bud. It wiggles the bud off, and it goes towards the door out of the space and squirps under it, leaving just this golf ball sized blurp of ink hovering next to you.
Could it squelch under the door instead? Nothing is squelched in this entire session.
Yeah.
The welter of ink squelched.
Thank you.
It
Thank you.
burbled as it went.
Trump.
How
Blumbled.
how big of a ink ball is there?
It is the size of a golf ball.
Golf ball. That's right. You did say that. Too big to be put into a glass vial, I would assume.
It could fit in the empty jar you
It
have.
could. Okay. I will open the empty jar and just hold it out there and see if it goes in there.
It will go inside.
All right. I will stare at it for a minute, make sure it doesn't want to just go in and out just to explore it, and then I will close it up.
It seems to hover inside your jar. anything the rest of your party wants to do. In this room, you see the bookshelves full of books. There are gas lamps illuminating this room with brass piping going to each one. Shattered glass everywhere. Blackfish skeletons.
I can't think of anything. Search for treasure. Loot the
Oh yeah,
room.
loot the room. Yeah, we haven't done that all day.
Yeah, I guess we could wreck anything that Kevin's left untouched. So
You break several glass.
Wait, hold on. Is there a donation box in the room?
There's not.
Okay, because we broke some glass, and I don't know if any librarians are watching us. So
You did feel like you were being watched.
So take out like a gold and be like,
Sorry about the glass. Just put this here.
pat it twice, back
How
up.
much are you
slowly.
putting down?
Let's see. I think I had checking or no, I used I had 45. My character sheet will not save on my computer. So I'm trying to remember how much gold I used to pay the librarians off. I think it was 25 last time. They left me with 20 gold. So I will put 2 gold down to try to cover the damages to the glass.
I think I can chip in 2 gold too.
I'll match that, yeah, for 2 gold.
So leave me with 18 gold. I'm making a note here. Oh, wait, no, I had minus 25 gold pieces. I was right. I made a note right where I was going to make a note.
Well, fantastic. How about you roll me a d30?
Get my D30 out of its bag because I never get to use my D30 till today.
That's not true. I had you roll last time too. Same table.
13.
All right. As you are searching through the room, on a bookshelf, you find like it's behind a bookcase, but the bookcase has been pulled down just a little bit, so you see it. There is a symbol written in blood on the wall. It's some type of religious symbol, like a holy symbol.
Not that I'm a religious type or anything, but is there a way I can try to see if I recognize the symbol?
Make me an intelligence check.
Okay.
Would we describe it as a circle on the top with like an arrow pointing down with a line through that and then like a little swooshy thing going underneath the circle?
That sounds like a holy symbol daubed in blood.
It doesn't have to be. I was just curious if it's the same symbol that Prince turned his name to.
Oh, I thought there was a circle on the outside.
No, it looks like that.
I know what his symbol looks like. I thought it was completely case. That's like the symbol for Mercury with a flourish. And Venus, kind of, you know. Actually, I guess you should say Venus, because Mercury's off to the side, but you know what I meant. So what did you get there, Jiles?
I got a 4.
Okay. So it is a very obscure minor god, one that is kind of has a very minor shrine in that section of town for various gods. What do you know about this god?
Being as I'm not like a cleric or anything, I don't know that much. I know that the symbol looks familiar. That's not my realm. I really don't know much about it.
That's perfectly fine. That could be something you can go to Reverence, that section of town, and learn more about this deity, see if there might be some type of connection. So the rest of you. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to ask, does the blood look fresh or does it look dried?
It looks within the last day.
Okay.
Should we dip the package in it?
Yeah. Dip the-
Oh,
Well, I already smeared it with my own blood, but I mean,
Yeah.
that would probably reset the clock, though.
is that how that works?
I mean, we didn't get a copy of the contract, as far as I know. So he just said once per day. He didn't say it had to be like a 24-hour window or like,
He also
every
said-
time we wake up.
He also said fresh blood, though. I mean, this looks like it's been here for a good minute. So
Well, if you want to get all technical about our blood,
well, I mean, it's either that or we die.
Well, do you want to keep exploring this level of the library? Go down a level or pause?
I mean, we
Wow.
still haven't found our way to the exit.
To the infernal gates.
Yeah.
Okay, can we ask your jar for advice?
which jar?
Kevin's jar with the ink golem in it, or whatever
My
it is.
little inky elemental baby.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't have a name for you. I'm sorry.
We called it Inky.
Inky. Okay, I'm gonna take the lid off the jar. Inky, buddy. Do you know where the infernal gates are?
It slowly hovers out of the jar and it gets very close to your face. Like so close it almost touches your face. Do you
Okay.
let it touch your face or do you pull away from it?
I'm not gonna pull away.
You're not going to pull away?
No. I'm building trust with my little inky baby.
It comes up to you and it sticks a little bit to your face.
Okay.
It feels very sticky and it just sticks to your left cheek.
I'm not sure what this means, but I'm glad that we're bonding. Are you gonna tell me where the gates are, bud?
It pulls off from your face and your face feels sticky and just bobs downwards.
So further down.
Further
Yeah.
down.
Okay. Thank you, Inky.
It
You want to go
goes
back to the jar?
into the jar.
Okay.
Your face, where it touched you, is now permanently stained black. You pause here for the moment, surrounded by broken glass, fish on stands, painted black, and feeling like you're getting a little bit of glowering somewhere in the distance, but maybe not as bad as you have left a little stack of coins in your wake.